Hello everyone, welcome to the Concern Podcast, where we unpack political, social, economic, and cultural stories shaping our world. I'm Emmanuel Taban, and on this section of our podcast, I want us to look at one most important thing that I suspect could be the intention for it, and it is about Ruto's frequent visit to Homa Bay County, one of the counties that is situated in the Luo Nyanza region. And what could this imply? I've just realized that actually right now Ruto is in Homa Bay for almost like a 3 days stay, and it's mainly because he went in for the devolution conference for the year 2025. And I've also realized that this is not the first time that Ruto is visiting Homa Bay just this year. In fact, right from the time when he was elected in 2022, Ruto visited Homa Bay for now 6 times. This is his sixth visit to Homa Bay. And out of the 6 visits, 3 of them are only done this year. 3 of his visits to Homa Bay were only done this year. Now, this raises a lot of questions. People might look at it in a very different perspective or in a very different angle. And also I want to give my personal view on how I perceived this frequent visit of President William Ruto to Homa Bay and what could it mean, especially that the country is heading towards the next cycle of elections in 2027. Now, when we look back in 2022, immediately when Ruto got elected, his first visit, I think, to Homa Bay was when he went for research service. He attended there, and second of all, he also went for to launch the UDA headquarters in Homa Bay. That was right from 2022. And then the other time he went to Homa Bay before this year is when he went for the funeral service that was held at the home of the PS for Interior, Raymond Omolo. That was another visit that he was in Homa Bay. But this year alone, Ruto visited Homa Bay 3 times. 3 times. The first visit was when he went for a development tour where he stayed there. He went on and launched so many infrastructures, roads, markets, and so many other things. He stayed there almost, I think, for like 2 to 3 days as well. And the second visit was when he went for the celebration of Madaraka. I think that was in June. Yeah, in June he went for the celebration of Madaraka Day. That was also held in Homa Bay at the Raila Odinga Stadium. And the third one is this recent one where he went for the devolution conference. Now, why is Ruto visiting Homa Bay so frequently, or why is it that all these important events are being held in Homa Bay? Now, this is my view of his visits. One is that Ruto understands very well that he has completely he is not in contact with the mountain anymore. So, and he doesn't want to make it look like he is trying to bring people from his region to be in the vice president, in the deputy president's position. He's just keeping Kindiki there, I mean, for formality. But in real sense, Ruto knows very well that Kindiki is not going to be his running mate in 2027. And I believe if Kindiki is honest about himself, he would even know it, that he is not going to be a running mate in 2027. Kindiki has no influence. He has no influence whatsoever at all on the mountain. Ricky G right now is in control of the mountain. The mountain felt betrayed by Ruto, and they are completely out of contact with Ruto. Ruto is just keeping a few people in his government, likes of Kimani Ichung'wah, likes of Kindiki, just to not really so much focusing on them. He's not hoping that maybe one day these people are going to bring some numbers in 2027. No, he's keeping them because he had appointed them at the first, and he just doesn't want to look bad. But now, the reason why I feel Ruto is visiting Homa Bay, and to be specific, the Luo Nyanza frequently, is because Ruto is in search of a running mate for 2027. And you all know the agreement between UDA and ODM that is in place that led to the establishment of the broad-based government. So Ruto knows very well that for him to actually fasten that marriage between UDA and then ODM is when he will front a running mate from ODM or from Luo Nyanza. That is when he will be a kind of competitive in the forthcoming elections. Of course, Ruto wouldn't want, if he tried to front a candidate or a running mate from Mountain, then that would be of his disadvantage. But Ruto will obviously look for a running mate from Luo Nyanza. That's one. And of course, he wouldn't be looking at Western Kenya because he already has the likes of Musalia Mudavadi. He has the likes of Moses Wetangula already with him. So he doesn't really need so much from West. He doesn't need a running mate to come out of West. But for the marriage to continue until 2027 between ODM and UDA, it is only when they try to front a candidate from Luo Nyanza or from ODM. And of course, the doubts, Raila Amolo Odinga is kind of, people doubt that Raila is going to run in 2027 or he will accept even to be a running mate in 2027. Now, the possibility is that Raila might front someone from ODM, an ODM member or from Luo Nyanza to be Ruto's running mate if Ruto gives the offer. Raila, obviously, it's going to bring someone who is a member of ODM but also from Luo Nyanza to be Ruto's running mate. Now, if we look at Luo Nyanza generally, who do you think is capable of being Ruto's running mate for 2028, right? When we look at the Luo Nyanza counties, when we look at counties like, Kisumu, when we look at counties like Siaya, when we look at counties like Migori, of course, Nyamira and Kisii, though they are still considered under the Nyanza region, but they are not predominantly occupied by the Luos. So the Kisiis are there. So Ruto, if we look at a county that is predominantly occupied by Luos, then we're talking about Homa Bay. Siaya as well is not predominantly Luos. And when we look at all the governors for these counties, Ochala of Migori is not popular. Anyang' Nyong'o of Kisumu is old. Siaya, that is James Orengo, of course, he is old as well. And then when we look at one possible candidate who could be Ruto's running mate in 2027, obviously the odds fall on Gladys Wanga, who is the governor of Homa Bay County. And the advantage with Wanga is that she's young, but also she's popular in the country today. She's being linked to so many success in her administration since 2022. So Gladys Wanga can obviously be the best fit for a running mate for William Ruto should he consider having a Luo Nyanza running mate or a Luo running mate in 2027 or an ODM member to be a running mate in 2027. Now, the reason why I feel Ruto is frequently visiting Luo Nyanza and specifically Homa Bay is because he wants to work on the chemistry between the two, between himself and Gladys Wanga. You saw the other day when they went to, when he was in Homa Bay, they went to the shores of Lake Victoria and they were frying fish and, launching the headquarters of the county. Very excellent. And so many people appreciate Wanga for all the good job that she has done as a female governor of Homa Bay. So that is specifically the reason why I feel that Ruto is having frequent visits to Homa Bay. It is to create or to form the chemistry between the two so that by 2027, they wouldn't be looking for other things. They would have set the ground for them to work together and have a very, very consolidated plan and a manifesto that they will again use to convince the Kenyan people to give them another chance in 2027. And Homa Bay has been really blessed of recent through Ruto's administration. Even before the Madaraka Day that happened, he had, a meeting at State House with leaders from Homa Bay County. He had them before Madaraka. He consulted them and came out with so many plans to develop Homa Bay, and seems to be working. So Ruto's frequent visits to Homa Bay could be linked to a possibility of securing a running mate for 2027 who is a member of ODM but also a member of the Luo Nyanza. So I feel the Luo Nyanza people, or the Luo people, would only stick in the marriage between UDA and ODM if Ruto offers a running mate position, or when he gives them the chance to produce a running mate for Ruto in 2027. That is when the marriage will remain intact and strong, consolidated. So yeah, according to me, the reason why Ruto is visiting Homa Bay frequently is because he is looking for the possibility of them working together in 2027 with Gladys Wanga, the governor of Homa Bay, as a running mate. So he wants to set the ground fertile so that by 2027 they would have done so many things together. And of course, as I said, that there's no possibility at all of William Ruto having a running mate from Mountain. Not at all. Not Kikuyu. Not at all. Because that would be a very, very big blunder. Even Kindiki knows it very well. If Ruto decides to go with a Kikuyu or Mountain running mate, he is completely going to lose support from Luo Nyanza. And he's not going to be rest assured. Even if he's going to use it as an appeasement policy to the Kikuyus, so that they can be happy that, okay, they have another running mate from their tribe. No, he's not still going to get all the numbers from Kikuyu. So having a running mate from Kikuyu or from Central, and then neglecting the Luo, who have actually given him the support, who has kept his government stable, that would be a betrayal as well to the ODM and then the Luo Nyanza people. So that is the reason why I feel Ruto is working hard right now to secure the support of Gladys Wanga, so that by 2027 they can be on the same ticket as a presidential candidate and a running mate. So yeah, that's my brief analysis of Ruto's frequent visit to Homa Bay. So thanks so much, and if you haven't subscribed, if this is your first time watching our video, please, I urge you to subscribe and leave a comment. And until next time, I remain Emmanuel Taban, and this is the Concern Podcast, where we unpack political, socio-economic, and cultural stories shaping our world.